Hey everyone, welcome to Man Cave Insider episode 33. I'm Dennis. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel down below so you can see past and future videos. Now we're here in my man cave, and this room is surrounded by things that I've collected my entire life, and these are the stories behind them. And today we're going to be talking about science. We're going to be talking about Weird Science, the 1985 comedy classic written and directed by John Hughes. Weird Science is a story about two high school nerds, Gary and Wyatt, who are unpopular and decide to make a woman out of their computer after watching Frankenstein on TV. They get a little bit carried away and wind up creating a supermodel played by Kelly LeBrock. Weird Science was the third movie directed by John Hughes. The first movie he directed was the 1984 classic 16 Candles. But before that, he had written several other prominent films, Mr. Mom and National Lampoon's Vacation. After the release of 16 Candles, his second film was the classic The Breakfast Club that had Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall, along with Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson, and Ali Sheedy. The shooting of The Breakfast Club was very intense. It was in a centralized location, it had a very small cast, and it dealt with a lot of serious issues that teenagers went through. It was during the shooting of The Breakfast Club that Hughes wrote the first draft of Weird Science in just 2 days. He approached Anthony Michael Hall one day on the set and said, "I got the next film. I already wrote half of it last night. It's going to be you and another guy creating a woman, and it's going to be a big, big comedy." After Anthony Michael Hall was offered the starring role in Weird Science, he passed on the sequel to the original Vacation movie, European Vacation. And that is one of the reasons why every Vacation movie has had a different set of actors playing the kids, Rusty and Audrey. Wyatt was played by Elon Mitchell-Smith, who Hughes had seen in the film The Wildlife that released the year before, written by Cameron Crowe. For the part of Lisa, several actresses auditioned. Demi Moore, Robin Wright, Sharon Stone. The role was offered to Kelly LeBrock, who had only done one film to date, The Woman in Red with Gene Wilder, which was released the year before. But LeBrock was enjoying an extended vacation in the south of France, and she passed on the role. They hired model Kelly Emberg to play the role of Lisa. Emberg was the current girlfriend of Rod Stewart at the time. And the name of the character Lisa actually came from the first ever Apple computer, the Apple Lisa. One of the great things about this movie is the cast. In addition to the three main leads, Bill Paxton played Wyatt's older brother, Chet. Robert Russler and Robert Downey Jr. played the high school bullies, Ian and Max. And the leader of the biker gang was played by Vernon Wells, who is reprising the character that he played a couple of years before in the Mad Max sequel, The Road Warrior. Producer Joel Silver was so impressed by Wells that he immediately hired him for his next film, Commando, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. The movie, like many of Hughes' films, took place in the fictitious town of Shermer, Illinois, and Gary and Wyatt were students at Shermer High School. This was the same town and high school that Hughes had used in many of his other films, such as 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller, and Pretty in Pink. About 3 weeks into filming, Kelly Emberg was fired because it just wasn't working out. They called LeBrock in France, begged and pleaded with her, and got her to agree to do the film, and she flew out the following day. Much of the film was shot on sound stages at Universal Studios. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Lisa takes the guys to a rundown jazz club. And Anthony Michael Hall's monologue in that scene was inspired by Richard Pryor. At the end of the film, Lisa turns the character of Chet into a large poop and puke monster. Bill Paxton was supposed to be inside of the suit, but he got claustrophobic, and they replaced him with two little people who did all the motions, and Paxton did the voice. The title track of the soundtrack, Weird Science, was recorded by Oingo Boingo and written by Danny Elfman. After the breakup of Oingo Boingo, Elfman went on to score numerous films such as Men in Black, Batman, and Good Will Hunting, and to date has received 4 Academy Award nominations. Weird Science had a budget of $7.5 million and came out on August 2nd of 1985 and grossed $38.9 million. And it was released just 6 months after The Breakfast Club, making it the third film that had been written and directed by John Hughes in a little over a year and a half. Quite often, a film's title does not translate well into a foreign language, and Weird Science had several different titles worldwide. In Japan, it was called Electric Venus. In Sweden, it was called Dream Woman. The Danish title was Touch Me, I'm Yours. In Russia, it was called Oh, the Science. And in Germany, it was called Cool Magic with Lisa. The USA Network created a television series of Weird Science that aired from 1994 to 1998 over 88 episodes. John Hughes had absolutely no involvement and didn't even know about the series until he saw a commercial on TV right before it aired. Now, the legacy of Weird Science is closely associated with many other John Hughes films from the era. 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, Some Kind of Wonderful, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Out of all the films he made, this is definitely the most over-the-top comedy. It's very rooted in the 80s with the clothing, the music, the special effects, yet it still holds up as one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I've watched it many times with my friends, and it's also probably the most quotable of John Hughes films. What I would challenge you to do is in the comments below, write down several of your favorite quotes. Now, what I have here is my Weird Science collection. It's been released on various formats over the years. I got it on DVD a while back as part of the high school flashback collection. This is a box set that comes in a locker with the 3 movies that John Hughes did while at Universal. It has Weird Science, 16 Candles, and The Breakfast Club. And last year, Arrow Video released an extensive special edition of the film. It got exclusive artwork, it's got an extended version of the film with a couple of scenes added in, and it's got a lot of special features with cast and crew that worked on the film back in 1985. A few years ago, I even got to meet Anthony Michael Hall at a convention, and I got a Weird Science poster signed by him. So that is it for our look at Weird Science. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time.